Happy Monday, Chicago Hockey Radio. Justin Lynch, Lee Grossman, Tassos, Kirkos, Raven, Gasser, Reed, Jansen in studio. Kicking it behind the closed doors over here. Justin Lynch on Zoom. How was your weekend, fellas?
Good.
Very good, yeah. How about them Bears? Bear down, baby.
That was beautiful.
36-10 win. I know it's the Panthers and they suck, but we'll take these wins. I can't remember the last time the Bears won a football game so convincingly like that. It was great to see. So, no, I'm very good weekend for mostly that reason. And yeah, now we got Blackhawks hockey to look forward to tomorrow. Life is good.
You don't need to put the asterisk in front of it. I had Packers fans saying, "Oh, it's just Carolina," but I mean, anybody in the NFL can beat anyone on any given week, and that's the reality of the situation. And the spread was 4 points, 3.5, it moved to 4 points, and they killed them.
Yeah, I know.
So they did better than Vegas thought. They did better than they were supposed to. So
exactly.
Caleb looked amazing.
Every game he's got better.
Every single game he's been getting better. And it's not just him, it's that entire offense. It's the play calling too. So it's exciting. And now we got Blackhawks hockey tomorrow.
Yeah, Blackhawks regular season game day tomorrow.
I think right away we need to talk about the crime that is the CHSN, this whole television broadcasting debacle that's gone on.
Yeah, I do just want to make a quick plug. I don't know who's going to, I think it'll be me and Justin on the post game tomorrow night after the game. But yeah, stay tuned for that live if you're watching this. Check that out tomorrow night. Justin and I will be
subscribe to the YouTube. Yeah, we need you guys to get subscribed over there.
Yeah, so yeah, subscribe to the YouTube totally, and we'll be live right after the game. So breaking it down, talking about the game. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, Blackhawks regular season. You want to get into the CHSN?
Yeah, I think it's the most important thing to talk about right now. Because there's still no Xfinity deal. It sounds like it's not going to be on YouTube TV.
That's a travesty.
And it's only for like antenna, direct TV, or people who have Astound broadband, which is like not the majority of people who live in the Chicagoland area. So we still have the blackouts. So the game tomorrow is supposed to be ESPN Plus, correct?
Yeah, that's national TV game.
Okay. So I shouldn't have a blackout there.
No, you'll be able to watch tomorrow's game, first game, yeah.
Okay. But so the game on Friday, October 11th, that's the first game for the CHSN. Are we going to get an Xfinity deal done? Am I going to have to allegedly illegal stream these games all year long? Like, it's so bad. Allegedly.
I gotta throw that in there.
It's like the worst thing you could do for this team at this point. Like, there's finally hope again. There's a reason to be excited this year. Fans are gonna be back, and there's no place to watch them for most people. It's so bad. It's one of the biggest fumbles since like before Rocky Wirtz, it feels like. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like this whole operation, I think, or maybe I don't know if it's owned by Jerry Reinsdorf. I know he has a lot to do with it. So anything that's run by him, it's going to be an absolute travesty. As a White Sox fan, I can attest to that. But no, it's a shame too, because I've actually enjoyed the broadcast. Like, I actually think the quality is pretty good. I think like Ball and Pang, it's a good team there. It's just, but what can only reach so much people. It's like, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's absolute travesty. And yeah, like the amount of followers I've had that have been DMing me on Bioc Beams, like, how do I watch these games? It's like, this is ridiculous. I mean, the fact that we have to be doing this because the team can't handle a new broadcast deal. It's just an absolute travesty. And yeah, the fact that they haven't got Xfinity situation figured out now, it's like, I mean, we don't have much time left here for them to figure that out. So yeah, and YouTube TV, it's not going to be on there. That sucks for me because that's how I watch. So, I mean, yeah, I'll just be having to watch the games that are on ESPN Plus that aren't blacked out, the national games. And yeah, for the rest of them, I guess, yeah, I'll have to do what you're doing, alleged illegal streaming over there. So yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and it sucks for, I don't know what the exact like statistics are, but for people like in our age, our generation, the way most people can, like the largest percentage consume sports is YouTube TV. So the fact that they're not going to get a deal done there is bad for the fan our age. But on top of that, the Comcast is the largest cable provider in the area, and it sounds like they're holding out because CHSN wants the best deal possible, but I don't think they have the same amount of leverage as like Xfinity does. So it's like this could be like the Swayman contract where it's like this might last halfway through the year. You know, it's like the season's starting tomorrow and there's still no deal done. And I read something that I was looking it up on the internet, and like the owner or the president of the CHSN said something along the lines of like, with the antenna thing, it's like, oh, we've always thought like fan first is how we need to build this up.
Yeah,
and it's like, you fucking asshole.
It's so tone deaf.
It's the most backward shit I've ever heard. Fan first. Like, you don't need to lie to everyone. Like, we're not going to have any place to watch, you know, the first local game.
Yeah, real fan first over there.
That's the opposite of fan first. I'm pretty pissed off about that. Whoever's in charge over there obviously does not give a fuck about Blackhawks fans. It's just about the bag, which is unfortunate. But I just hope sooner rather than later, so I don't have like my dad texting me every single game asking how he can watch, you know, and I'm having to send him like links that are going to absolutely nuke our home router and like get him arrested probably.
FBI, open up. Watching illegal Blackhawk streams.
So bad.
Oh, God.
All right, you guys want to get into the final roster?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, they made their final cuts. They played their final 2 preseason games. I know Friday was kind of a clunker, and then they got the win in Milwaukee against, you know, pretty much an AHL squad. But, you know, I think we're all of kind of the same mindset that the team didn't look great. I mean, I didn't know if you really wanted to talk about the preseason games a whole lot, Justin. But
we could touch on them. Yeah.
You know, I just thought it was important to get into the roster, though. You know, like what this team now looks like, and you know, Isaac Phillips is on waivers, and Nolan Allen made the team, and I think that was a big. I think that's a big story with the club. Honestly, that. He's gonna be on this opening night team. You know, I don't know if he'll be in the lineup tomorrow or if he'll be a scratch. He might be. But final roster thoughts, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like the final roster, it's mostly just sending back the players who they called up for the Saturday game. But yeah, in terms of the Nolan Allen Phillips thing, yeah, I mean, it's a little surprising. I mean, I think Allen's definitely more ready of the two, but you do risk, you know, putting Isaac on waivers and a team claiming him. I don't know if he will be. I don't know if he's going to get claimed. Hopefully he doesn't, because I think there's a solid defenseman there. But at the same time, we have such a logjam defensive prospects. If we do lose them, like, it's not the end of the world. I think Allen's definitely the better player of the two. But no, it's a good opportunity for Nolan Allen. I think we will see him tomorrow, because I think Kaiser, I think he's still out, if I'm not mistaken. He hasn't really been playing at all in the training camp. So I don't think you want to send him in there right away for Tuesday. So I think we will see Allen at least to start this season. And then when he's back, he'll probably be the 7th D. When Kaiser's back, he'll probably be the 7th D. But yeah, in terms of Phillips, hopefully he clears. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens there.
Thank God that we drafted a defenseman 2nd overall this year. We really needed more of them.
I love how they ended the every shift episode. I know we already talked about that last podcast, but literally the last thing they ended that episode with is where the goal is going to come from. And I'm like, well, that's a great question. Where are the goals going to come from? I could think of somebody who would have helped us score goals, not this season, but in the future. It's just, I find that very funny. But anyway.
Yeah. No, it still hurts. But I think until we see Levchinov turn into a beast, we're still going to be pissed about it. But
here's the saving grace. There's a lot of guys in this draft to look forward to. I know Mike Misa, McQueen, Martone have all been tearing it up in juniors, and Hagens. So, I mean, there's a very good chance we end up with somebody of that Demidov skill level anyway, but it's not a guarantee, right? I mean, so we'll see.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of things to be excited for prospect-wise. It'll be interesting to see how some of these guys do in Rockford and how often Richardson's calling guys up. I don't want, you know, this team now is like, especially with these veterans that we've brought in, they're old veterans. That's what they are, you know? So to say there's not going to be injuries throughout the lineup this year, I think we're all kind of expecting it, especially after what we had to deal with last year. So it'll be nice to have backups pretty much everywhere, you know, NHL caliber talent throughout the lineup, you know? So hopefully we're not towards the end of this year and rolling out a primarily AHL roster like we were last season. That'll be nice.
You guys don't think that Isaac Phillips gets claimed off waivers at all?
I mean, he could be,
will.
but you think he will be. I say he doesn't, but we'll see. You think he will, Tassos?
Yeah, I mean, if I were a team with a few extra contract slots open, I would consider placing a claim. There's a handful of intriguing players on waivers today. Eric Brandstrom and
Didn't he just get traded?
Yeah, he did get traded, and then Vancouver put him right on waivers. So, yeah, there's a good amount of intriguing players on waivers today. I wouldn't be surprised if we got some movement. Yeah, so the Hawks sent 12 players down after the Milwaukee game. It was Brandon Baddock, Colton Dock, Cole Guttman, Frank Nazar, Zach Sanford, Sam Savoy, Landon Slaggert, Louis Crevier, Del Mastro, Kevin Korchinski, Austin Strand, Drew Comesso. So yeah, I mean, so it does reaffirm the earlier decisions too of sending Nazar down to Rockford and Korchinski down to Rockford. Even though that Milwaukee game was pretty inspired, I have to say, like that was pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do find it pretty funny that, I do find it very funny that the Rockford Ice Hogs and Young Guns Blackhawks lineups was the one that looked the best in the preseason. Meanwhile, the two games where our full NHL squad played were the ones we looked the worst. I know it was also the Blues AHL lineup, and ours was a little more beefed up with Bedsy there and Rod Kershaw and others. But I think that was just a good sign. It was good to end the preseason like that, because it was rough. Let's be honest, preseason did not go maybe the way we wanted. I do think one thing to keep in mind, though, I think, in terms of not pressing the panic button, it's a lot of new faces, right? And building chemistry doesn't happen overnight. I think that's what I've hold out onto in terms of hope. Like, I know we looked ass in those two games against the Wild, but I think it does take time to build that chemistry, right? Especially if so much new additions. So I think we shouldn't hit the panic button there, but I do think it was great to see the Ice Hogs and look good. So it gives me hope for the future.
Yeah, I think you're bound to have a slow start. I'm not expecting this team to start off hot and go on a run early, I think think they're gonna look pretty bad early on in the season. But I think where we're gonna get the bulk of our points is gonna be the back half of the year, maybe around All-Star break. I just can see that happening more so than this team, especially I know preseason doesn't really mean anything, and they could come out and surprise us and look completely different. But when the top of your lineup is pretty much all new faces, the power play one is going to have Jones and Bedard, and that's the only thing that it's going to have from last year because Hall was injured most of the season, so that doesn't count. And then it's Tavo and Bertuzzi, so I think it's going to take a lot of times, not just special teams, but 5-on-5 team.
I don't love that they don't have Bedard and Kurashev together in the power play. Because we saw that in the Saturday game. And I mentioned this in the Friday game. Those two are so good with those cross-ice seam passes. We saw that a lot, and they connected on the power play there. But it looks like Bedard's in the first unit, obviously, and Kurashev's on the second. I get splitting them up in terms of even strength, but I don't get splitting them up in the power play. I think you got to have those two together in the power play.
I think it's the same. I don't think it's just the power play. I think they just look good together. They had a whole year playing together.
I agree with you, yeah.
I that's back to what my early kind of takes on the lineup was that I think you should keep them together just because they, like you just said, it's like they know where each other are at all times. It's like
I think they should to start the season. Yeah.
So a few notes from Blackhawks practice. Oh, I lost it the moment I said that. So Artem Levshinov is out on the ice before practice. He was out there today before practice began. So you guys were talking about the power play. So the power play units officially, power play one is Bedard, Teravainen, Taylor Hall in the bumper, Tyler Bertuzzi net front, and Seth Jones. Yeah. And then power play two is Kurashev, Donato, Smith in the bumper, Maroon net front, and Martinez on the back end.
That's horrible.
That second unit's not going to do shit.
Second unit's going to be ass.
I think you mentioned keeping that first unit out there the entirety of the power play. Yeah. I think I totally agree with that. Let's just keep that first unit out there and only use that second unit if you have to.
Yeah, if you want to get Kurashev on the ice, just bring someone off.
Exactly. Yeah. We got lines now. Actually, it looks
I was going to say
from Ben Pope. Oh boy, Ilya Mikheyev on the top line, Bedard and Tavo. What and
wait? Okay. What?
Yeah, Ilya Mikheyev is with Bedard and Teravainen. Which I know Richardson said he views Mikheyev as a utility guy where he can kind of play wherever, but why the fuck is he on the first line of Connor Bedard? That is going to be, oh God, I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, and we got Hall, Kershaw, Bertuzzi. I actually like that second line. That's a pretty good second line.
Yeah, that's a good second line, but are they set on Kershaw playing center?
Yeah, it looks like they're starting him at 2C. I mean, okay, I guess we're doing this experimentation thing again like we did last year with Reichel. That worked out great. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Then we got Foligno, Dickinson, Anderson, third line. I actually like that. That line was good last season. Oh, boy, this fourth line, Maroon, Donato, Smith. That line is going to be cinema. Oh, boy. Yeah, then defense, we already know. Martinez, Jones, Vlasic, Brody. I've said 5,000 times how I feel about that. I'm not going to go over it again. And then we got Allen Murphy, third pair. And
Allen Murphy, I'm excited to watch Allen.
Yeah, me too. I think he was really solid in the preseason. And then, after the season, Reichel is still the scratches, so that's interesting.
Is that, like, are you guys, surprised that both of those players find themselves on the outside looking in tomorrow?
I mean,
I think Athanasiou is probably, I think he's better than probably at least 3 people in this lineup.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But, I mean, I understand scratching Reichel. He's got to get looks eventually. They got to play him eventually, because why would you sign him for, a prove-it contract if you're not going to play him? But he doesn't necessarily deserve to be in this lineup.
Yeah, I know that both of them actually have been asked this preseason, but I mean, I still don't love scratching them. I think if you're going to punish them, just play them in the bottom 6. At least they're still playing and they're out there. I think scratching them now to start the season, it's just such a, I don't know, we've been talking about Reichel's confidence, and that's not going to do anything to help it. And Maroon and Smith should not be in the lineup over these two. I don't know. I guess they've been playing better, so they want to reward them for it. But I mean, I don't know. I think those guys should be going in if guys are struggling during the season, if there's injuries. But I don't think they should be. If everybody's healthy, they should not be in the lineup over Athanasiou, right?
I don't know. I think it might be a little harder to scratch those guys, like legit NHL players over Lucas Reichel.
Yeah,
especially to start the year.
Or Anderson, like Joey Anderson, Donato. There's 4 guys here I would scratch over those guys.
I'm sure all those guys, when they signed here, they knew they weren't going to be playing full 82 games. Which is fine and good, because we have a lot of young talent that is hopefully going to be getting into the lineup throughout the year. But I think it makes sense why you're starting those guys that you brought in.
My question, I have a few questions. Well, at one, I think it says something about Nolan Allen that,
for sure.
He's going to make his NHL debut tomorrow.
He beat out a lot of guys to get that spot.
Yeah. So
it's very telling.
Yeah, that's very telling. It'll be cool. Like, that guy was a first-round pick. I think I might have said it on one of the first shows we did of hey, they used a first-round pick at the end of a round on him, and they believed in him a little bit, at least, to use that high of a pick. So that's telling. The Joey Anderson thing, do we really need Joey Anderson in the lineup?
I don't think he needs to be in this lineup,
agree.
but I do think he was good though last year. Dickinson, I think they want to reward him for that. But should he be in this lineup over a guy like Landon Slaggert? Absolutely not.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Have Reichel in there and Landon Slaggert and bump him down. You know what I mean?
I think we kind of all feel that way about him and that entire fourth line, but it's going to change. It's going to change.
Yeah. It might also be first game of the, they want the vets in there for the home for the season opener. I almost said home opener, but
it is a tough start to the season. I mean, their first 4 games in a row, just like last season. I think last season was actually 5 games, so that's rough. I mean, I don't know why the Hawks always get stuck with these brutal opening schedules, but yeah, I mean, maybe it's good for this team. I don't know, maybe it'll kind of bring them together more, but it will be a tough start, and I think we'll learn a lot about this team, how they get through these first few games, man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's because the NHL needs the Hawks for some of these early televised home openers for some of these other markets. It's better for Utah tomorrow if they're playing the Blackhawks versus if they're playing the Blue Jackets. So,
dude, the Mikheyev on the first line thing is so weird. The more I look at it, it's you had Bertuzzi playing with him all preseason.
Yeah, and what's the point of I know they didn't look the best, that line, but they played together for 2 preseason games against who? I don't think you could judge much off of that. It's I think Bertuzzi, Bedard, Tabo. I think maybe we don't all agree. Maybe it's something Kershaw, but I think that could be the ideal line. Why not? If you're going to split up Bedard and Kershaw, then have those 3 playing together, right? Let's see what they can do together. So, put Yulia Mikheyev in the top line. It's what are we doing here?
I think maybe the idea is that you really want a strong second line. To be able to to be a legitimate scoring threat, so that the pressure isn't all on Bedard, and they're just assuming that the Bedard Teravainen connection's gonna click. But it's like,
I mean, in that case, I think I'd swap Tavo and Kershaw. Have Bedard, Kershaw together, and Tavo the 2C. That's a really good second line. Then Hall, Tavo, because Tavo could be a center, like he's been a center before. Yeah, Hall, Tavo over 2C. Like that's a great second line. And then McKayev, Bedard, Kershaw. I still want to have McKayev, but at least Betsy and Kershaw together probably wouldn't matter. So yeah, I don't know. I think that would make more sense. And I think in terms of Betsy Kershaw, like I think to start the season together would make a lot of sense, right? Kind of build off what we saw last season, and then as the season wears along, then you can kind of put these new toys on Betsy's line. But I don't know, this just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. This lineup, what I'm looking at here. But I like Richardson, the coach, but I've said it before, I don't think he's the best of line combinations, and this kind of shows it. But to be fair, they've been kind of asked in the preseason, so I guess he's just trying things out. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll reserve judgment until we see it, but I'm not feeling a W this opening game. I don't know what you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
You think Utah's going to come out with a ton of energy, probably?
Yeah, exactly. It's their first ever game.
I don't know. We won the opening game last year against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the retirement home Penguins.
Yeah, but I think that, dude, I don't think this Utah team is that good.
I think they're pretty solid.
Elliot Friedman said this morning they'd make the playoffs.
I disagree with him.
Okay. I said a few weeks ago they'd make playoffs.
The Central's so good. I understand people look at that roster. It's a new building. They're going to have a ton of energy. I understand that. But look at that roster compared to the rest of the teams in the Central. The Central is loaded.
I think outside,
go through it now. Now go through the three teams that obviously have a better roster.
Here's how I feel about the Central Division. I think
the Dallas top three set.
I think Dallas is the best team in the division, hands down.
Yes, for sure. I think Colorado.
I think they're the best team in
I've been thinking about Colorado a lot, and Colorado's a lot thinner.
They are. I agree.
But they have so much top end talent.
Yes. The top end talent is still. McKinnon and McCarr alone is still better than Utah.
And as long as you have those guys
too.
Yeah.
And a contract year, as you've mentioned.
And Landeskog might be back.
I think he's going to be in that lineup too, right? We thought he'd be out, but I think he's going to be there, right?
Yeah, I just think without him though, it's going to be really hard.
Yes, but I don't think Utah is better than that though.
They traded Bo Byram for Casey Middlestat. We're gonna.
Yeah. I see Utah's I could see them finishing fifth. I don't see them finishing ahead of either of those three teams or
Nashville.
Nashville, Winnipeg.
Nashville.
I don't think they'll finish it, but I think they could finish fifth.
Even if you're really low on Winnipeg, which I don't think they've gotten that much worse from last year. They still have Connor Hellebuck, who's going to be Connor Hellebuck during the regular season. I mean, do you think they outperform them? Maybe.
Nah,
Nashville, I think, is going to be really good. They might take some time to gel because it's a pretty new roster. But, they've got so much high-end talent.
But I think they could finish out of St. Louis and Minnesota. I'm not high on either of those. I know in either of those two teams, and then, us. So, I'll put them fifth, and I don't think 4 teams are making the Pacific. So, I think they can make the playoffs. Yeah. That's a wild card.
I think Utah fans are hoping Dylan Guenther scores 30, 40 goals.
Also, I'm hoping, too. I have my fantasy team, so that'd be great.
Keller's stats last year were, not... he had 70-something points. He had 15 more points than Bedard. And Bedard was injured for a good chunk of the season.
Arizona wasn't good last year.
Yeah, he had 86 year before that.
They had pretty much the same team.
They got Sergachev. They got Ian Cole on the back end. They brought in John Marino.
I think you have to remember, though, Arizona was on a solid trek last year. Then the relocation stuff came out, and then they sucked the rest of the season. You can't tell me that wasn't in their heads mentally.
I just think it's too much.
Logan Cooley's going to be unbelievable, too, this year.
You're assuming. What if he's not?
Yeah, okay, all right, fair enough.
I just think too many pundits and people in the NHL world are having the trendy pick of having them go to the playoffs and be really good. But I think it's just because people are going off vibes and not acknowledging how good the Central Division is.
I told you, I think Colorado's weak.
But do they fall out of the top 3? I agree with you. The
goaltending is really.
I agree with you. I think
doesn't matter the last.
The goaltending, but it kind of did.
The playoffs it did, but in terms of regular season, it hasn't really affected them. Georgiev had the most wins last year, and I don't think any of us think he's a top 10.
It's just because they put up 7 goals a game. Yeah. But it's it's a hard style. You can't just lean on 3 guys night in, night out, year after year. So I agree with you that I think that they're weaker, I don't have them as a contender at all, in my opinion. But do they fall out of the top 4?
No, I don't know. Maybe.
No.
I think worst case they finish. Absolute worst case they finish like 4. Worst case.
Because
and that's
then,
still playoffs.
If they fall out of the top 4, then that means you think, I guess, Nashville, Dallas, and Utah. That's
maybe.
I don't.
There's no shot Utah finishes out of Colorado.
I just asked if you guys thought Utah was going to come out with a lot of energy tomorrow.
Oh, I think they will. I mean, there's no question about that. But will they gel is the question. Yeah.
I want to see what the odds. I'm sure the Hawks are probably like sizable underdogs. Might be some value
score
there.
predictions. Let's do some score predictions. What do we think?
Oh,
I mean, I want to say Hawks win. I hate to bet against us, but I know you want to judge a preseason, but I don't know. I don't think we're going to win this opening game. Just going to be honest about that. I say we lose. I say that Utah beats us 4-2.
Yeah, I was going to say like 5-2 Utah, 6-2 Utah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We had a bad preseason. Nothing ever happens in sports, though, that you think is going to happen. I could totally see them winning. I could totally see them winning in like a 3-1 game where it's like, Smith scores and Foligno gets a goal.
Mrazek is starting, so that's a...
Yeah, we got Mrazek in net. I mean, our defense is so much better than last year, man. Even though we split up Jones and Vlasic, I'm going to say, give me a 3-2 Hawks win.
At least somebody's picking the Hawks. I hope you're right and we're wrong.
In regulation?
Yes. I think they're going to be up 3-1, and then Utah's going to score like an empty net late goal to make it close. And then we're going to play good team defense and steal a win.
I like it. I hope you have the script.
I don't want to be the first ever Utah Hockey Club loss,
That's true. Yeah. We'd be in the history books forever for that one. We can't let the Hockey 2 club beat us.
Yeah.
We got to win for Arizona, man.
I wish they made that team named the Utah Yeti. I thought that was
is that the plan?
Yeah.
I think next year that's the plan.
It better be, because that's like the coolest name. And they fucked up. And also, like, the colors look bad. I guess if you keep those colors, if it's like the light blue and then the white with the Utah Yeti, that could be the coolest jersey in the NHL. Especially if they make a good logo. If their name was the Utah Yeti, I would be picking them to win tomorrow.
The Utah Grizzlies is the ECHL team. I always thought they should have taken that.
Make them the Utah Powder.
I think Utah Yeti is so good because it's like an alliteration.
Utah Grizzlies.
That's cool, but do that with a Yeti.
Do that with the Yeti?
Yeah.
Is that like too similar to the Avalanche?
If I may interject, the Grizzlies thing does sound cool, but I think it's an issue with already being a team.
Yeah, but they could just like buy the team.
True.
Yeah, they could definitely big dick whatever small hockey team is playing in Utah.
The ECHL.
Didn't the Golden Knights have this issue too? Because like there's a team like they wanted initially to be called like the Silver or the Black Knights, and they had to switch it to Golden Knights because
Bill Foley went to West Point.
Yeah.
And they're the Black Knights or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. So something like that.
Yeah, that's why he wanted to name them that. And then I think it's like UCF too is like the Knights or something like that, or no?
Yeah.
I don't know why I just thought of this, but can LA wear the silver helmets all year?
Those are sick.
I think they're gonna wear them a lot of the time.
I think they'll make the playoffs if they wear those silver helmets all year.
Helmets will make the difference. The drip.
It's the only thing I like about that team. That franchise.
So I think it's the first time we've glazed the Kings on this podcast. The Four and Blues guys actually probably appreciate us for once.
I think Quentin Byfield's gonna have a monster season.
How many points is that?
90.
Oh boy, I don't know about that.
What did he have this past year?
I could see 70 or 80. I think he had 50 something this past year.
Okay, dude.
Dude, put me down for Quentin Byfield. 90 point season.
I'm gonna look and see
if
40,
Byfield's put up 90,
50.
then Betsy's put up 100 plus.
Dude, you should bet on that because I'm sure the line is probably in the mid 60s if I had to
Make some
guess.
serious dough from that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You should take like an alt over.
Yeah, that's my.
Let's see if I can find Quentin Byfield.
Well, all right. So, what other thoughts we got on this Hawks team for tomorrow?
It's not even
I
on
mean,
here.
Well, I mean, this is more of a recap, but how about I'm surprised we haven't talked about this yet. How about Bedsy Saturday scrappiness then the game with Zach Bolduc?
That was
I
awesome to
fucking
see.
love to see that. I love that Bedsy's becoming a dog. He's not taking any shit this season. I love the mentality he has this year. It's great. I know some people be like, oh, he's putting himself in danger. This is fucking hockey. You gotta stand up for yourself. You're a star player. You gotta know how to throw hands every now and then.
Yeah.
So no, I love seeing that from Bedard, and yeah, that just fired me up seeing that.
And I loved seeing like the whole team like get over there quick as
Yes.
fucking just jump the guy.
Yeah, Kevin and Dvorsky dropped the mitts, and Kevin won the fight. I didn't realize he was such a good fighter, but yeah, I was. You love to see every time Bedard did something, the team immediately rushes him, like you said, like they know he's their savior, and it's just fun to see him stand up for him like that.
Yeah, no, that game was just so much more positive overall than every other game.
Yeah.
And I know that it was a fake, St. Louis team, but still, just to see like the boys score some points and get a win, we needed that.
For sure, we absolutely
Bedsy needed that.
Yeah.
do you think Connor Bedard fights ever in his career?
Eventually,
I mean, his career is going to have I think Taze had a couple in his career when he was captain. I'll say Bedard, and some like tough playoff series. I think he drops the mitts at least once.
I want to say Taze dropped him a couple times against
David Backus,
Joe Thornton too.
Yes,
he had beef with he had beef with like all the captains.
Taze was a tough guy, man. That was an underrated part of his game. He was pretty physical when he needed to be. Yeah, he was tough.
He was sneaky gritty.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
I think Bedard could be like that too. I know he doesn't really have the build necessarily, but he plays with an edge to the game. If you watch him in juniors, he's actually
thick,
pretty
though.
physical. Yeah.
It's not like he's kind of like a twink like Kane was.
No, he's definitely more built. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if he gets a little taller. I'd like to see him
Yeah,
chuck him.
late growth spurt, that'd be cool. Oh my God, Bedard was 6 feet plus. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Man. Yeah.
But also, like, if I had all of Connor Bedard's talent and skating ability and shooting ability, I'd be
Connor Bedard.
I'd be the best player in the world, probably.
I feel like Connor Bedard. Oh shit! Now it sucks me right all day.
My grandma.
Did your guys' expectations for the Hawks change a little bit based off the preseason or no?
I mean, they shouldn't, but like I wouldn't be lying if I claimed I'm going to the season with as much optimism I would have been 2 weeks ago. I mean, I shouldn't. I know it's just preseason, but like I don't know if that really applies to this Blackhawks team, right? Like maybe that could apply to a contender, but I don't know. Like I think they don't change that much because I don't think either of us thought this was a playoff team anyway. But maybe I was thinking, I don't know, it was possible to get 35 wins, 80 points. Now I'm like maybe more like high 20s, low 30s, 70-point range.
Yeah.
Worst case, maybe high 60s at worst, which would still put us bottom 5 and give us a high pick, which is kind of what we want anyway. So I'd say if they shift, it's maybe by like 5 wins. I don't know, which isn't really a big difference with where we're at right now, but I wouldn't say they've changed that much. Yeah.
I'm still expecting like a mid 70-point season. Which I don't know where it'll be interesting to see kind of where that puts
Places.
at the end of the year.
If we put
I
up
think
75
the bottom
points,
of the league is getting better. Like I think it's going to be closer this year, especially. I mean, dude, especially the Central. That's the thing about the Central is that now it's like there are no like the Blackhawks aren't just going to be like, oh yeah, we got the Blackhawks tonight. We can mail this one in. It's cookies night. We're gonna like we're going to be competing with everyone, and it's the same way. I mean, Utah's going to be better. It's not going to be like Arizona shit right now. Like. They're playing in a college stadium and there's 12 people there and they don't know if they're going to be playing there next year. Like, there's none of that. There's not going to be any easy wins, especially in the division. So, I think everything's going to be a lot more competitive.
I will say this: we could tolerate in the preseason, but if we have games like those 6-1, 7-2 games in the regular season, I don't think those types of losses can be tolerated this season. I don't care if we're losing; if it's close. But this is a team on paper that should be competitive. It's not a playoff team. We all know that. But I brought this up last week, and I know maybe it's a little out there. Don't get me wrong. I like Luke Richardson. I think he's a good coach. I don't mean to knock the guy, but this is year 3, and this is the first NHL team he's really had to deal with. So if we're having a ton of games like that and we're not really improving this year, not showing progress, I think it's fair to start asking questions. That's all I'm going to say. I like Richardson, but he's got to make something work with this team, I think. I mean, if he's not getting results out of this team, which it should be, then I think it's fair to start asking questions and start wondering if he's really the guy. I kind of see him being this Dennis Savard, where I think he's great for the rebuild. I think he'll get us out of this rebuild. But will he be this team's coach in the long term or back in contention? I'm not sure yet. I don't think we can answer that question yet because we can't judge him off these first 2 years. But I think after this year, we can finally start judging him with an actual team.
If John Cooper's available next season, would you want him?
No,
Yes.
You wouldn't.
I'm not.
You're not a John Cooper guy?
No.
Why not?
I'd take John Cooper. Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
Because I know some people like hate him.
But he's a hell of a coach. I mean, look what he's done over there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like the
he's a
perfect
good
coach for a
hockey coach.
contending team.
But you wouldn't take him?
No,
Why?
just cause
Oh.
I wouldn't.
Really getting into the breakdown there.
No.
What do you think,
I don't
Lee?
need to get in. I don't. He's a good coach.
It depends. It depends upon how Luke Richardson looks this year. You know, if he has these guys firing on all cylinders, and the top end guys, if Bedsy's looking great, if Nazar's getting into the lineup and looking great, if Kurashev's looking good, then I maybe say no and just let Richardson see if he's the guy. But yeah, I think if we go below 73 points this year, yes, immediately yes.
Yeah, we can't just improve by a bit. Like, we have to have a solid 15, 20-point improvement, which with this team should be very, very doable.
I think when you have an option to get a coach of that prowess and pedigree who's achieved what he has, I mean, you'd be stupid. Like, I understand that, like, Luke Richardson seems like an awesome guy and like a player's coach, but it's like, if you have that available, like, we're not just trying to have fun here.
Yeah.
We're trying to win the Stanley Cup.
And we can still keep it. Like, he could still be an assistant. Like Derek King, like, I liked him as a guy, but I didn't really love him as the head coach in 21-22. He was better than Kelton, but that's not saying much. But he's still an assistant here. Like, he could still be here in some role, but I don't think head coach. I'm not sold yet. I think after this year, I have a better idea of where we stand with Richardson.
I think you got to give Richardson another year. I think.
Oh yeah.
Like,
you mean after
this
year?
one?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well,
I
we'll
think
see. It depends on this year.
You know, I mean, unless they really
What if
are
what
terrible
if there's
this
not
year.
a whole lot of progression?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that happening with this team.
I don't know.
And maybe this roster is just like not as improved as we thought it might be. Also,
no, but it is. It is on paper.
It is.
You can't give them that cop out at the end of the year and be like,
look at the bottom half of the lineup.
It's NHL players. I'm seeing guys that were, that have been in the postseason the past
but
couple
this
years.
is the NHL.
It's better than the Indy Fuel team we had last year.
Yeah, but this is the NHL.
Yes, it is the NHL. Last year, those guys in the bottom six were not NHL players. Mackenzie Entwistle. I'm sorry. He's probably going to somehow be okay because he's in Florida now, but
yeah, they just
he's not good.
I think you got like the first.
Colin Blackwell was like one of our top players last year.
He looked like Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, that team was not an NHL team by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
I think you got like a lot of these like loaded, like I think tomorrow the Hawks could get pumped by Utah, and then you're going to Winnipeg, and then you're going to Edmonton, and on the second half of a back-to-back.
Or they could pull out a gritty win, and then you're like, okay, yeah, this team's obviously better than last year.
Yeah, maybe. Which one of those games are you winning?
I mean, of those three, I feel like this Utah make the most sense. I don't know if I'd say if we do win a game in Canada, it would be against. We're not winning the Edmonton game. I think we can all agree on that. So I think that's the second half one.
That's a schedule loss.
That's the second half too. So like we win Winnipeg and then we get pumped by Edmonton and Utah. Who knows? I think,
dude. But also, like, as someone who is like, I bet the NHL so much last year. Like, wins happen. Like, this team, even if this team is worse than we think it is and in like really bad, they're still gonna win. They're gonna win on the road. They're gonna beat good teams occasionally. So like, to try to like look at it like it's like the NFL season where it's like loss, win. Like, we're gonna beat. I wouldn't be surprised if we beat Edmonton.
But here's the thing. Here's why I don't think. Because I think Brossoit's not going to be back yet. Mrazek's going to start opening night. He's going to start against Winnipeg. Then you got to start Soderblom against Edmonton.
Yeah.
There is not a chance in hell that unless Brossoit's back, that we beat Edmonton.
I think we can beat Winnipeg for sure. And also there's some betting statistics about like teams on road trips, like they're really good during like the middle of it. And then teams are usually pretty bad in their first game home after a road trip. So I could see them winning against Winnipeg.
All right.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Any last thoughts on tomorrow's game?
I'm excited. I'm not gonna get to watch it because I'm gonna be working, so I won't be able to do the post game. But
Oh shit.
I'll be on my phone the entire time at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll be watching with keen eyes. I'm just really excited, man. It's finally back. There's no more preseason mumble jumbo. The season is back tomorrow. We'll be watching Blackhawks hockey, and I cannot wait.
I feel like I've been like speculating and thinking about this team for so long, and it's like now we finally get to watch them again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, we're gonna hit a quick break, and we'll come back with NHL Hour of Chicago Hockey Radio. Keep it here. All right, NHL Hour, Chicago Hockey Radio. Are we sad that this Jeremy Swayman thing is over?
Yes, I enjoyed the drama. I was hoping it would last a little into the season, and that no offense to the Bruins, I was hoping it would last for a while, so to fuck them over, and they can kind of get them out of the playoffs this year. But unfortunately, they got that result right before the season. So yeah, I mean, I didn't think I knew it was going to happen eventually. I didn't think he was going to get traded like a lot of people thought. Like it was only a matter of time. But I am a little surprised. Unfortunately, that happened this weekend, but good for them, I guess. It definitely saves their season because I mean, I think without him, they were screwed. But no, 8.2.5. So I guess Swayman has 66 million reasons to be happy now, if my math is correct. So good for him.
Were they holding out over? Were the Bruins holding out over that like 250,000 a year? Is that like? Because remember, we originally heard that it wasn't getting done. They were offering him 8x8. But maybe that ended up just being
drama for $250,000.
I was really hoping he was going to get traded, just because that would have been like an all-time story, because that truly would have led to the demise of the Boston Bruins. Like this team wouldn't have been competitive if they didn't have him. I did watch. Do you guys ever watch Hockey Psychology? That channel on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
That guy's
channel.
Awesome. Yeah. He put out a video a couple days ago about it. And he like went kind of in depth about how good their goaltending coach is. I think they've got like the best goaltending coach in the league. And I mean, it kind of makes sense if you think about just like the past, 2 decades, what that team has had in net has been pretty insane. That they've like consistently had like the top 5 goalie in the world. Realistically, if you think like Thomas,
is that a good goalie?
Tuukka, like, yeah. So
and Olmark, but go on.
Tuukka Rask was so good.
He was so good.
I missed that guy. Yeah, he was a good personality too. But
I liked it. Yeah. He never won a ring.
Bob Essensa.
Was he the backup on the 11 team or no?
He never won the ring like as the guy in Boston.
Yeah, I know. Lost twice in the finals.
Like
once
Tim Thomas got it done. But yeah, he was unbelievable. And I'm not saying that like you can kind of chalk all that up to coaching, but
Bob Essensa is in his 21st season with the Bruins organization since he was named the club's goaltending coach.
He was an NHL goalie, right?
2003. Yeah.
And name sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say I enjoyed dogging the Bruins, but I did enjoy that clip they like posted when they re-signed him from the Wolf of Wall Street clip. I'm not leaving. Yeah. I'm not fucking leaving. That was pretty cool. I'll give him credit there.
Also, just after watching the Amazon Prime show this weekend, I binged and finished the entire thing on Friday. Episode 3 was pretty much just the Jeremy Swayman episode, and like he is one of the cool, like his personality. I can't wait for you guys to watch it. He's obviously so excited. He's just happy to be there. He's like so excited. His perspective and outlook on the game, like seeing him talk with his dad, like in between the playoff games. And he really had his back against the wall this year because they were saying in the contract negotiations, like, you're not reliable in the playoffs. And so he was really betting on himself this year. And, if he didn't perform in that first round and got bounced by the Leafs, probably would not be making nearly the amount of money he just made. So just like kind of seeing him after each game and then like also battling with Tkachuk, they were like showing that and how he just like loves it. And he's like, yeah, it's like part of his game, kind of how he gets dialed in a little bit. Such a fucking cool guy. So I guess nobody any cooler in my book to get a bag.
Top 5 goalie in the NHL now.
I would
Paid
say
wise.
I'd say so. Oh,
No, he is.
Top 10, top 5. Like I say, he's in the 5 to 10 range. Yeah.
Well, he's paid so it's
He's paid like a top 5.
Bobrovsky 10, Vasilevsky 9.5, Hellebuck 8.5, and then it's Sorokin and Swayman now at 8.25.
Yeah,
it'll be 6 when Igor signs, but yeah, that's pretty up. That's high praise.
Yeah,
I mean,
it will be. Igor's going to be 1.
Yeah. I do find it's always the goalies who have the personality, right? Like in terms of, we always talk about NHL players being robots all the time, but it never is that way with goalies, is it? They're always the most interesting chaps. And I guess you have to be that way to be a goalie.
I wonder what it is, but I think there is like something. I mean, they're always also like the most outspoken when it comes to like mental health issues and stuff like that too. Like, I wonder what it is about. I guess I kind of know what it is. That position seems entirely psychological. You know?
Yeah, that's what you know. Mental. Like sometimes the guys that are really good at it are the guys that are able to like really sit down and meditate on it and what it, how to process it and all of those different things. Like the guys like Hellebuck. Like Hellebuck's a really personable guy, and so is Swayman, so is Jake Ottinger, so are but a lot of the times you get caught up, like hockey players, I feel like especially get caught up in the routine of things, right? So, and then especially like the goalies, right? Like there's, although I've met a lot of goalies that are, really normal people.
And also it's just like the pressure, it's like a different kind of pressure. Because it's like if you, one soft goal in a playoff game can change an entire series.
Yeah, like the game could be entirely blamed on you, like unjustifiably. Yeah.
And that was kind of like the crazy thing in the Amazon Prime app. It was like the way he was like, I'm so excited. Like, he's like excited for these games. And he's like, I just want to like, obviously, I'm going to play my ass off and do everything I can, but I just want to go in and enjoy it. And it's like, you see all these shots of him just like going out on the ice in the playoffs games and just like smiling at the crowd. Like he can't even believe he's there, kid from Alaska. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
I'm now, after that episode, I am truly a Jeremy Swayman fan. He's like awesome. Still fuck Boston Bruins though.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Leafs also just signed Max Pacioretty and Steven Lawrence too.
How do you feel? I'm sure you talked about it.
No, I didn't actually. That just happened. So, more or less. So, no, I did not. But yeah, I think it's good that they're creating competition on the team. Like, there's not, some of these teams. I feel like there's, I've carried a narrative that it's who's making an NHL team, but I'd argue like we've been covering the Hawks really close here. There was competition for this Hawks team. Yeah, totally, 100%. There was legit competition, and some guys played their way onto spots, some guys played their way out of spots, and yeah, I think the Maple Leafs are trying to do the same thing right now. From everybody I've talked to, right around there, guys like Dave McCarthy and Luke Fox, and guys who really are up close with it. Craig Berube's like really trying to push, hard, like north-south style of play, not east-west hockey. And yeah, guys like Steven Lawrence, like that guy just won the Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers, right? And he came in on a PTO, and yeah, Pacioretty too. I mean, I don't know how many goals he has left in the stick. It was either apparently him or bringing back JVR, who went to Columbus. But
where do you see Pacioretty sliding in that lineup? Just kind of where he
should
needed?
Be in the top 6.
Do you think he's going to have a consistent
player
spot?
Right now?
They've been playing Nyes up with Matthews and Marner, which I think is like what you want. And then Nylander down with
Tavares.
Well, Tavares has played on the third line a lot.
Really?
It's been like Domi.
Oh, okay.
So
middle
maybe
6, third line.
Yeah,
maybe?
middle six,
Tavares,
third line. Yeah.
That's not bad.
So
I mean, imagine seeing John Tavares and Max Pacioretty third liners in 2024.
yeah, they also got guys like Kelly Yarncroke and David Camp, who's been like fourth line for the most part. Nick Robertson has been like lighting up the preseason, and
We know all about David Camp over here.
yeah,
Oh yeah, PK legend.
it'll be an interesting it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. Yeah. But Pacioretty's like, he was captain of the Montreal Canadiens. That's not a small deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just hope it's not like a Joe Thornton signing if you're the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear the last 2 years. I mean, he didn't really play much 2 years ago, but like last year, definitely not the same player. He's had a lot of problems of injuries, but if he could be even slightly better than that, I mean, that's a big boom for the Leafs just to have a guy like that in the room, especially like come playoff time. If he could be just even a fraction of what he is his normal self, that could be big for them.
The Blue Jackets get a pass for the entire season.
Yeah,
that's
they're going to be really bad, though.
Unfortunately, they're still having bad luck. You got to feel for them with the injuries.
It's going to be it'll be probably pretty cool to see, because I would imagine every time they're on the road, they're going to a team's building. Teams are going to
they'll get ovations.
Yeah,
and cheer.
Teams are going to do something pregame, to.
They've been doing the preseason like they've been doing moment of silences for Gaudreau and stuff.
Yeah.
Which will be
I'll
cool,
be cheering for him, but unfortunately, I don't think we can have much. I don't think there really are any expectations on this year in terms of what they'll probably be. That could be last place.
They
team,
could be
honestly,
last place.
Yeah.
And,
if that's the case, hopefully they win the lottery.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be cool to see. Hopefully, maybe they get the first overall.
If there's a franchise that deserves it, it's them right now.
Yeah. No doubt.
What else you guys thinking about? What'd you guys think of the first 2 games of the season? Anything really?
Well, I mean, the Buffalo Sabres are back, baby. 0-2 to start the year. Looks like a year 14 with no playoffs for them. I think we can already write that in. It's over.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even watch them. They like don't count in my mind. Like
I mean,
so many extra like it being overseas
during the preseason overseas. It's you're right.
It's weird. The season starts tomorrow, in my book.
Effectively,
yeah. It was like the game was going on, and I was watching that Prime show, which was amazing. You guys watched just the first episode?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I thought, what did you guys think about that episode?
It was good.
It was good start. Yeah. No. I mean,
it was a great start.
Look forward to the rest of them for sure. But
I just didn't have time to watch it.
Yeah.
But I would have.
It was that episode was really cool just because I liked the progression through like the regular season into the playoffs. And you like obviously couldn't help but feel bad for Willie. I thought they like made them look really human, which was cool to see. And I didn't even know they were like that close. I didn't know the Pasta and Nylander lore, which I'm sure you did, but that was cool to see. And then the second episode was Eichel and Forsberg. It was probably my least favorite episode of the 6 that came out, just because it was pretty slow. It started like the regular season. It was just like, I didn't really like, Nashville went on that like really cool run. But it was nice to see Forsberg because I think he's like one of the most, if not the most underrated player in the NHL. But just like, I don't know, it was a little uninteresting compared to the rest of the episodes. I already talked about the Swayman episode, number 3. That was awesome. Just like the whole psychology of like a goalie playing in a Game 7, the Stanley Cup playoffs is like pretty crazy. So just seeing like how he kind of dealt with the pressure and all that was sick. The fourth episode I thought was like low key the most random. It followed Jacob Trouba, Gabe Landeskog, and Quinn Hughes. And like Landeskog was injured obviously the whole year, so it was just him kind of like with his kids and being bummed out. What are you doing?
My bad. Sorry, I was just reading.
Do you not want to talk about? I feel like it was like the most notable thing that happened this weekend.
Was that you implying that the next version of this needs to have Connor Bedard?
Yes, that was exactly what my intention there was. Thank you for speaking in existence for me. Yeah, Bedsy next.
It would have been horrible to see Bedard though. It would have been bad because it would have just been them.
Like seeing Bedard.
It would have just them being bad. Like there would have been no like climax resolution. It was like, oh, here's Connor
Clim-
Bedard
you
playing
just-
on this bad team.
I could see
And then you
Bedard
get throughout
climax,
the year,
that'd
and
be
then it's
great.
like, oh, here's Connor Bedard still playing on this bad team still. Like it was no like, you know, like I don't know. It
No,
wouldn't have been-
I agree with you. I was just
2 years.
bursting
I hope they keep doing it. I hope they pick like a new crop of players this year. But like the fourth episode, it was like Jacob Trouba. Like it was cool to kind of know more about him. But it was like I don't know, like you couldn't have picked like anyone better on that team. I guess maybe the silver lining is hopefully they're planning on doing this every year, and so it's like they're not just gonna take all the biggest superstars right now. So hopefully we do have a Bedard episode in a year or two. But I'd rather see it when the team's winning, no?
Yeah, I agree, but it's been nice to see him kind of come out of his shell, like or before his season started, like and show off his personality. So I think now like would be an okay time. But I think like a year from now would be even better when we're kind of coming out of this rebuild and we're a better team, more interesting team to follow.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Rangers this year? You think they're going to be the same level of competitive?
Yeah,
I think they will be, but I don't know if they're gonna. I mean, it kind of feels like it's now or never for them to win the cup. They've been so close so many times. But I wouldn't have picked them over. I don't know, the Panthers, Oilers, Stars. Like I think all the three of those teams that were in the conference finals are still better than them.
I think they're going to be just as good as they were, just because I think that division's so weak that I think they should have a pretty easy chance of getting far again in the playoffs. But yeah, it's kind of win now because when does Igor resign? Is that next year?
This year, right now, he needs to resign. He's eligible for an extension.
Okay.
He is UFA 2025.
Okay. Yes.
Wow.
So this is like their last year.
Yeah.
Because if you're paying him $12 million,
Yeah.
That's not going to leave much room.
That's why you brought up Trouba. I was wondering if they talked about
no,
anything like that.
no, it was pretty much just like Trouba like off ice. And that episode, it was so weird because they like bounced around from the regular season to the postseason, which they kind of did throughout the show. But it was like, what am I watching here? Like they didn't really say like, this is the playoff game. It was like, if you knew, you knew. But there was no transition to like, here's him in the regular season. And then it shows the date and it's like game one. It wasn't really doing that for that episode. So that was kind of ass. But yeah, no, they didn't really talk about Igor at all. They talked about how good Igor was and how good that team was this year and like President's Trophy, yada, yada, yada. But they didn't really emphasize that team has a very small window.
All right. Anything else from...
I'm surprised that Yaroslav Skarov was sent down to the AHL. I mean, I feel like that move doesn't make any sense for the Sharks. I mean, you trade for this guy, that's great. And for Skarov, it sucks. I feel like the whole reason he wanted out of Nashville because he knew he wasn't going to be in the NHL this year. And you're playing Blackwood and Vitek Vanacek over your franchise goaltender. It's like, this guy's ready for the NHL. I don't understand why they're sending him down to the AHL. That just tells me that maybe the word would be too good. They want to get that first overall pick again. But that team's going to be ass as it is. So I'm not sure why that you would worry about that. So I don't know, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I don't know if you guys have any different thoughts there.
Probably just think he's not ready, maybe.
No, I mean, I don't. I think he's ready.
Being the starting goalie of that team is a pretty tough spot.
See, in San
You gotta
Jose,
make up the backup.
yeah, I mean, at least if you're a Skarov, like I said this in the morning, but Nashville, Milwaukee, I mean, they're pretty close, but it's not. San Jose is San Jose. Their AHL team is the Barracuda in San Jose.
That helps.
And so it's not like he has to really go anywhere. I said that they will probably end up even calling him
Play in
up.
the same rink too. Am I wrong in saying that?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't quote me on that.
I have no idea. I could look that up.
That seems wrong, but also like, does San Jose have several like hockey arenas?
I know there's a couple,
Is it
at least
the
one
hockey
NHL
hub
team that
that-
plays in the same NHL arena. Maybe it's not them. I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, they play their home games at Tech CU Arena in San Jose, California. It's a
Okay,
4,200 seat arena.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But that's, that's cool that you get that in that same area right there.
Yeah.
That's always a benefit.
I would prefer, it would be sick if it wasn't Rockford and we were the Chicago Wolves.
Yeah, I always kind of wish it was that way, but I like, I understand why though. I like Rockford Ice Hogs as an organization, but it'd be cool if it was both Chicago. Toronto's the same way. If the Marlies and the Leafs, there's other teams like that. So, but Rockford's so close, it doesn't really matter. So,
Because they own them, though. It's because they own the teams. Like the Sharks own the Barracuda.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, I understand why. I'm just saying it would be cool. Yeah.
Do the Hawks own the Ice Hogs?
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I feel like
wow, we're really
Jesus.
we're blowing our cover here a little bit.
We're firing all cylinders today.
We're firing on all cylinders. It's Monday. Season starts tomorrow.
Yeah, we do.
They do.
It's still preseason,
own the Ice Hogs.
Yeah,
that's cool.
This is the last day we could say
bring
it's still
them Chicago.
preseason.
I want an Ice Hogs jersey. I think their logo's so hard.
Yeah, you can find an Ice Hogs jersey pretty easily around
Those
here.
jerseys are hard. Those things have insane aura.
Yeah, I got a couple here. We could give them away if you wanted to. I got a couple Wolves jerseys hanging around here.
Yeah, Tassos is formerly Mr. Wolves.
Yeah. Anything else for this episode, fellas? Anything else? For this show?
Watch the Prime documentary.
Yeah,
Please.
yeah.
The last 2 episodes are so unbelievable, and it's like Kachuk is the best superstar in the league. Like that is my favorite.
I love that guy.
That is my favorite player in the league
fun.
by far.
Favorite non-Blackhawk, Matthew Tkachuk.
And I think the Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup this year.
That's fair. I mean,
The show
they do feel like
it
the
felt
favorites.
like the show felt like a precursor. Like, hey, watch this team because they're going to win this year. That's like
what are
literally-
you insinuating there,
dude? I'm telling you, if you watch the last 2 episodes, they like framed the whole thing like it was like yes, they followed Matthew Tkachuk, but it was like framed from like the Oilers are about to come back and watch Connor McDavid be
So
the
you're
best
saying
player
it's
in the
all
world.
script. You're saying it's all
Dude,
rigged.
I'm just saying it was like yeah, that team's gonna be hard to beat this year.
Well, that's fair. I think
Because the league, I'm telling you, if you watch this show, you'll be like, wow, the league needs Connor McDavid to win a Stanley Cup. They want it so bad. So
in that case, I hope it doesn't happen.
I know, me too. I kind of want to see.
I like rooting against what everybody else wants.
I kind of want to see him. Like, I don't want to see him. I want to see him win.
I want not in Edmonton. Not in Edmonton. I want to see him win a cup. Not in Edmonton.
I want to see the drama if he leaves.
No Canada Cups.
No Canada Cup.
Yeah, let's keep winning them over here in the States.
Let's keep it America.
Yeah, it's an American sport. God damn it.
I hang my
Great,
hat.
now we're gonna start all that argument. Oh, but the Canadian players mostly play in America. Yada yada. Yeah, we get it.
The U.S. is about to be better than Canada at hockey.
Yeah,
we've been
well,
saying
the
that.
NCAA is about to allow major
Oh, that's
junior
something to talk
players.
about,
The
yeah.
NCAA is about to allow major junior players to play in like Division I hockey and
That's big
and
news.
Division III hockey, I guess. By that virtue.
I mean, if NCAA is an
So-
already better alternative than juniors, it's gonna be. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's probably the top situation. If you're a junior hockey player trying to make the NHL, I think NCAA, like that's the way. Plus, you got a backup plan, you got a fallback plan,
Yeah,
better
you're going to
competition.
school.
Stronger teams are playing against men. Less games and more practices. I think it's probably better for development. So I think at NCAA, that's the way to go.
Yeah, it's just gonna like crush. Well, it's gonna push a lot of kids out of Division I hockey, and then by that nature, Division III hockey, and it's gonna change. It won't change the USHL a lot, maybe a little bit, but it'll change like a lot of Tier 2 like junior hockey around here, like the NAL and the whatever, like those different kinds of leagues like that, like the NA3HL and the USPHL and so yeah, we'll see about that, and it'll change like a lot of the junior leagues up in Canada too, and how much revenue there is, and changes Canadian university hockey too, right? Because you get a scholarship for playing major junior, and those kids use that a lot of the time when you don't go play pro hockey, right? So I don't know.
Rip Canada.
But NCAA
man.
hockey is about
Feels
to get
bad, man.
NCAA hockey is about to get like
Really good.
become yeah.
Yeah.
And it even
Even better
pushes
than it already
kids
is,
down to
yeah.
like club hockey.
I
Like,
hope they change like Frozen 4. I hope they change things about it to where it's like stop with the neutral site bullshit, please. Like,
Yeah.
why, at least for like the first couple rounds, like, why are games not being played in like these team stadiums? Like, it could be one of the most like the product
This is a
very
March
good.
Madness.
Yeah,
Like
Chicago is hosting it in 2028.
Oh, really?
The men's 20,
Nice.
20. Yeah, I think it's 27 or 28. Yeah, they're hosting the men's here, so that's exciting.
That'll be cool. Anything else?
I don't know.
Well, we got triple header tomorrow. How about we predict?
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
we've
You want to talk about the
predicted
game?
Hawks.
Let's talk about the game
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we got Blues Kraken. That's the first game.
Why
I'll
is
say
it
the
so early?
Yeah, 4:30. What the hell? That's weird.
Because they probably want all the games to like everyone to be watching each
so
one.
there's no overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's 2 hours, 30 minutes increments. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. But
The
I'll say
the NHL's gotten better at that. It used to be terrible at it, but they've gotten better at trying to stagger times.
Yeah. So I think that's got to be why. I mean, Bruins Panthers is obviously
that'll be a barn burner. Yeah, playoff
that's going to be the
rematch.
one worth watching.
Yeah, now
Raising
they
the
actually have
banner.
Swayman, so that'll be a good one. That's right. Yeah, raising banner too.
Yeah. So there
I'll
is,
say
is Swayman gonna play?
No,
I would. Okay.
no.
You would think not, right?
Because
he hasn't
He's
been playing,
with the
right?
team.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
So
So Panthers win that game then. The Blues Kraken, I'll say Kraken win that. And then, well, we've already talked about Hawks, but unfortunately, I think the Hockey 2 Club will probably beat us, but hopefully we don't.
where
We'll
is
see.
the? Oh, it's in Seattle Stadium. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Good
that's an
day of
early.
hockey
That
tomorrow.
could go any way because that's 1:30 over there. You know, that's like a matinee game. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird. I don't know who that's going to favor.
Yeah, no, it's like a playoff baseball game over there. Jeez. Yeah, I was picking Kraken just because fuck the Blues, but we'll see.
Yeah, St. Louis is interesting.
I like the over in the Bruins Panthers game. I'm looking at the total is 5.5. This is the first game of the season. This isn't playoffs.
Shane Wright's going to be in the lineup tomorrow for Seattle, right?
Yeah, that's a guy definitely to watch this year for sure.
Yeah.
X factor for them.
Yeah, he should be in the
Oh,
lineup.
they
for
signed
them.
Yamamoto too. I don't know if we mentioned that. Yeah, Kaylor Yamamoto to Utah. Oh, that's Utah. not
To
Seattle.
Utah.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know how I mix those two up.
Well,
but
he played
yeah.
for Seattle last year.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so Utah's going to be good. We talked about it in the Hawks hour a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was more of a Utah podcast than a Hawks one.
Yeah, I mean, teeing up the Hawks opponent a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right?
Cool.
Yeah, all right. We will catch everybody. Tune into the post game
show tomorrow night after the
Yeah,
game, and then we
please,
will be
watch it.
back
Yeah.
Wednesday morning.
To break down the Hawks.
I
game
might
further.
not be able to be here Wednesday because I'm supposed to go to the surgeon to see check in. You know,
Yeah.
I guess you're supposed to do that. After
Man,
they-
how's the recovery going over
good?
there?
I work at double
Yeah.
tomorrow, so I'm kind of nervous about that. But I'm feeling a lot better, so hopefully
That's
I'm
good.
But yeah,
Good to hear that.
so I'll keep you guys posted on if I'm here Wednesday or not. But for everybody watching and listening, the show will happen on Wednesday still.
Yeah.
Regardless of me being here or not.
Yeah.
Cool.
Peace.